Hi, I'm Eric Schoenfeld. Welcome to Fly or Die.
And I am John Biggs from Crunch Gear.
And today we have three great products that we're going to talk about. Well, actually, they're not all that great. But
we have the 3DS from
3DS,
Nintendo.
the new Nintendo 3DS. It's in 3D, hence the name. We're going to talk about Rockmelt, which is a social browser that finally opened up to the public recently. And we're also going to talk about mobile wallets and NFC chips in mobile phones, which Google, Apple, and others are really pushing for. Nice. So why don't we start with the 3DS? Well, how is this different from the DS?
So this is the next generation, essentially. So you have a glassesless 3D viewing, so you can watch things. And the trick is, it doesn't pop out at you; it pops in. So you actually look into. It's almost like you're looking into a little world in the screen. I think it's really cool. I tried it out. We played some Pilot Wings. We played a little bit of Madden on this thing already. And it's really changing the way you look at video games. It's portable. It's very, very small. And it's all new. You can actually take 3D pictures with this thing, which is fairly unusual.
Why do you take a picture when you're playing a game?
Well, you can take pictures of the outside world.
Yeah. So I actually tried this. They had this thing set up at Grand Central. And before I got on my train, I tried it, and it was amazing. Where you had this overlay of the video over the camera view, so it's almost like you're playing a video game inside the real world.
Sure.
And there are games like this. There's a Star Wars game that on the iPhone that does something similar. But this whole 360-degree AR overlays, augmented reality overlays on the real world, I think is kind of where it's going. It's a much more immersive experience. It sounds kind of silly, but it really is a much more immersive experience. And like I find myself sort of, like this is a flying game, and forget I'm not even going to talk to you anymore because I'm really.
Yeah, I was immersed this afternoon when I was coming on the subway. I was actually playing Pilot Wings, and usually it's a fairly simple game. You fly around.
You go like this. You look like an idiot.
You look like an idiot, and it was really a fascinating experience to be able to play 3D without glasses. So what are you saying, fly or die?
Oh, totally fly.
You fly.
I'm keeping this. I'm totally keeping this.
And I'm saying fly as well. So I'm pretty excited about it.
That's obvious. All right. So next, let's go to Rockmelt. Now, Rockmelt had a big launch a few months ago. It's a startup that's got people from Netscape, and actually Mark Andreessen, who was the founder of Netscape, is an investor in this. So it's sort of a big deal. The founder of Netscape is investing in a new browser company. It's based on Chromium, which is the same open source sort of shell that Chrome is based on, and or kernel, I guess, right? But they put a social overlay on it, where on the left side you see all of your Facebook friends. It's almost like an IM presence management console, and on the right you have all of your RSS feeds and Twitter and Gmail. And then they also do something with search where you can search really fast and it preloads like the top 10 links, and then when you hover over them, it preloads it inside the window. So it's sort of like an interesting take on the browser.
It's like a browser on steroids, and it's fairly interesting. My concern is that you add a lot of existing functionality to a browser, and you get kind of overwhelmed. That was my initial experience when I first downloaded it a while ago, and that was also. I came back to it and I looked at it. I didn't get that excited about it. I mean, I have a way of working, and this didn't fit into it.
Yeah, so I think one of the big criticisms is that it's almost like they're forcing a bunch of extensions on your browser that you may or may not want. And I think it does depend on whether you're like, if you're really a Facebook person, this is kind of awesome. Like you have all of your Facebook friends and you can share. It's all about sharing. It makes it really easy to share stuff on the web with your closest sort of friends or people you're close with on Facebook. If you're not a Facebook person, this really isn't for you. And they've been iterating, and I tried it once and then I kind of went away from it. And the big problem with it is that, if there's something that Chrome has, that they're competing with Chrome.
Sure. And
Chrome is really great. And if it wasn't for Chrome, I'd say this would be great, but and it's a total fly. But I'm not really, and I'm going to still give it a fly. I'm not willing. A lot of people have just, written it off and think that it's dead. But I don't think so. I think that they're really sort of focusing in on those core users that do find some value with it. and they're just going to keep on making it better. And they have sort of a killer team that I think is learning from their mistakes.
I think on my side, it's like comparing a motorcycle to like an ATV. I mean, a motorcycle is really cool. You can go really fast. That would be Chrome. Whereas this is a little more rugged. It's designed for a different purpose. I'm going to say die just because I wouldn't use it.
Okay. All right. So let's.
Hey guys, this is Eric Vishria. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Rock.
Hi, Eric. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Excited to be here.
Okay. So a lot of skepticism about Rockmelt. So you guys had a big, huge launch. You're written up everywhere, TechCrunch, New York Times, everything. A big launch, and then people sort of stopped hearing about you guys. And then now, just recently, you finally opened up to the public.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about you had this big pop, and then now where are you at?
Well, yeah, we don't measure ourselves by how much media coverage we get. Obviously, we measure ourselves by users. And the really exciting thing, obviously, the launch went great, and we got a lot of great coverage, which is awesome. But the most important part for us was how are users receiving the product and what has happened over the last few months. And what we really wanted to do was just kind of buckle down, get the product right, make it better, fix bugs, improve features, those types of things. And that's what we've kind of done over the last 3.5 months. And that's how we've been able to build a user base of several 100,000 active users within a couple of months, and while we were still in invite-only mode.
So now, say I'm not a teen girl. So how is this valuable to me?
Yeah, I think what we found is people have turned to the web. The web's become the primary way they keep up with their friends. They share stuff with their friends very often. Teen girls, middle-aged people, just the full spectrum of folks are sharing and communicating with their friends. They're using the web, obviously, as the primary way they consume news and information, and they're obviously searching. And so we think those features are relevant to a pretty broad demographic, and that's definitely shown to be true in our user data so far.
Now, what about this criticism that it's you're kind of like forcing what is the equivalent of an extension or a series of extensions onto your users? And there are a whole bunch of extensions. There are a whole bunch of Chrome apps, right, that people could pick and choose to use or not to use. So what's the advantage of sort of designing the whole thing and presenting it as a unified experience versus sort of what Chrome is doing, which is here's a web app store, take your pick?
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, what we've really tried to do is create a smoother integrated experience. So it's for years and years, you've been able to get extensions that do various things, but what you end up with is a Frankenstein browser, Frankenstein product. And what we've tried to do is you can still obviously add extensions and customize and tailor Rockmelt to fit your needs. But what we've really tried to do is take these key things that people are doing and make them first-class experiences, make them really, really good and really, really integrated. And so when we integrated a share button, for example, into the browser, so any page you're on, you can click share and share it with any one of your services, or your friends are built into the browser so you can chat with them really easily, or the way search works, or the way news and updates are pushed down to you. Like all of those things, we've tried to make first-class objects in the browser and first-class experiences.
Right, and you can still use the web app. So like, for instance, I use TweetDeck on Chrome, and I can also use it on Rockmelt. So you're not precluded from using all of those other extensions.
Exactly, absolutely. So all the Chrome extensions and web apps work in Rockmelt, and that's really important. Like Chrome is an incredible base. Chromium is an incredible code base. It's super fast. They're doing lots of really cool things. And our users benefit from all of those things. So when we started, we looked at the Chromium base. It was only 8 weeks old at the time. We looked at that base and we were like, this is technically incredible. This is going to be a great platform, and we're super
right.
Super
so that was a big bet for you.
You
You were either going to go with Mozilla or with Chromium, and you went with Chromium. I mean, you think that has more legs going forward. So one last question: since the public launch, where you didn't need an invite to get in anymore, what have you seen in terms of adoption?
Yeah, I mean, we're at a few 100,000 users. We're still in that range because that's a broad range, but we've seen growth nearly double since the public beta. So it's there's a lot of great growth, and what we're really focused on, getting users and getting downloads and stuff is important, of course, but what we're really focused on is how those users actually convert to actives and stick around. And so far we're seeing great adoption on that front, and we're excited about it. So we're very optimistic.
Okay, terrific. Do you have any other questions?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay, well, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Perfect.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so we have one more. This isn't really a product. This is more.
It's a technology, right?
Right. So there's been a lot of press lately about these NFC chips, which are near-field communication chips. They're already built into the latest Android, the Nexus S, and Apple is supposedly going to build them into future iPhones, although there's been recent reports that they're going to push it out. It's not going to be in the iPhone 5. And the idea is that you just take your phone, and there'll be a reader at a retail checkout, and you can just wave your phone over and the NFC chip will just act as a wallet. It can do other things as well. It's not just about payments, but payments is like the big app that everyone is talking about.
Sure. I mean, well, you have active and passive types of chips. So the passive ones are basically just like an ID that you wave over a thing and it reads it. Or you have an active type which actually communicates back and forth. And both of those have been around for decades almost. The thing is, I think this is going to move in the future simply because the credit card providers are going to start seeing the need for this. There's going to be less and less. There's going to be more and more devices that have this technology in there, so they're going to start using it. And it's also very, very popular in other countries right now. And that's going to change the way we think about it slowly.
I'm giving this a big die, and there's a lot of hype. And I think it's overhyped and it's going to underdeliver. And especially for payments, there's a lot of obstacles to getting this to work. So there's a chicken and egg problem between, merchants don't want to pay for these reader devices. There's two devices. There's the chip in your phone, and there's the reader device. And getting the chips in the phones, I think Google and Apple are going to solve that problem, and other cell phone manufacturers. Eventually, it will be a component in all phones. But then you still have to get the merchants to pay for the readers, which are right now, I think, still like a few $100s each.
Well, I mean, it's going to happen through accretion. You're going to have more and more of these readers out there. More and more phones are able to do it, and then all of a sudden, you're going to find an app that you really like that allows you to buy movie tickets just by waving your phone at the theater.
Right, but in terms of retail, there's two things that you want, that a retailer wants. They want to speed up the line, and they want to lower their costs. So anything that they have to add equipment-wise is going to be a hard sell for them. So you're going to have people like Google subsidizing these readers. And then on the speeding up the line, I'm not really sure it's going to speed up your line because you're online and you're checking in, or you're checking out your email, and then the cashier is like, "Sir, you have to wave your your phone."
And then you wave it, and then you go back to checking your email.
Or you say, "Hold on, I'm doing something."
As opposed to pulling your wallet out, pulling out a card, swiping the card, typing in your PIN number, getting your face scanned. I'm saying fly.
I'm saying die. It's not going to work. I mean, I'd like it to work, but I just think there's too many obstacles. And also, people are not. People think that the credit card is dead. The credit card companies are going to tie the credit cards to a lot of these digital services, like American Express has already done with Foursquare. And they don't want to become an app on your phone. They have this great real estate in your wallet, and they're going to do everything to make you use that credit card and keep that, have that mind share in your wallet. And they can give you rewards and benefits and stuff that make your credit card a better way to pay than your phone.
We shall see.
We shall see. Okay. All right. So join us next week when we're going to talk about 2 or 3 more topics and products on Fly or Die.
Thanks for watching.